Welcome on a new episode of Robert Spotlight and Robert Spotlight Fernando Jerez. Welcome on the show.
Hi everyone, I'm Fernando here. I hope you like this chat with Robert.
Let's go. So, Fernando, could you present yourself for people that don't know you?
Yes, for people who don't know me, my name is Fernando from Spain. I'm based on Canary Islands. I'm a computer science engineer that actually working, my daily job actually is computer science teacher. I teach coding and all kind of technologies related to web development. So I have the classic stream cat here that it can be. So, and since I was a kid and I started playing with computers in the late 80s or early 90s with, you remember those 8-bit computers, Amstrad, Spectrum, Commodore?
Yes, so I know them by name.
Yeah, those 8-bit computers came with a book of coding. Imagine a kid with 10 or 12 years and a book of assembly and coding. So I started copying some programs and making some computer graphics. Since then, I always been making computer graphics, not always focused on generative art, but always interested in computer graphics, procedural generation for video games or special effects on movies or things like that. And then I graduated on university, worked a few years in web development, and finally, since 10 years or something ago, I started working as a computer science teacher. And in my free time, I do generative art, just starting just for fun. And in the last year, when I started into the NFTs, that was the first time you could monetize this kind of work. I'm taking more seriously and thinking on maybe in the future leave my actual job and focusing on the generative thing. I don't know. It's okay, Robert?
Yes, it's okay. So you started last year creating generative art with NFT, right?
In NFT, yes. I've been doing generative art for more than a decade and since I was a kid. But NFT, I discovered NFTs at the beginning of this year because some people, some artists that I follow on Twitter started posting about NFT collections and things like that. So I made a bit of research and I discovered in fact, there was a community and a market around generative art. One of the things that I catch my attention was the minting mechanics of those collections that the collector or the buyer, when they mint a piece, they get a surprising random variation of the piece that I made. So your work as an artist is to give an algorithm or a program that could create a wide range of nice or beautiful outputs without need of curation. That was a real challenge.
Yes.
The idea of I think that's a thing that 10 years ago, maybe, when I made some kind of pieces of art, I was thinking on the idea, wow, should I curate the 1,000 of outputs that I can generate and I choose a few of them to publish? The idea of publishing the program and each time one person buy a piece, get a surprising random variation, like a surprise box or those small cards, things like that. That was super interesting to me. So I started my searching at the beginning of this year. I found art blocks and FX gas, and the minting mechanism on those sites. That was really motivates me to jump into the NFT community.
Okay, perfect. And you said that you have been doing generative art without NFT since 1 decade, right?
Yeah, maybe. I've been always drawing with code, but especially generative art, thinking in art, in generative art, maybe a decade, 12 or 13 years, maybe, but,
Okay.
but a decade. And that was when I started working as a teacher, and I had enough spare time, free time, to dedicate to my hobby, that is drawing, and especially drawing with code.
Okay. And so could you talk a little bit about this time frame, the more than 10 years when you were doing gen art without NFT? Basically,
Yes.
where did you do them? Where someone can show it? Could you talk about this time frame?
Yes. Before NFT era, I was. Can I share my screen, Robert? It's
Yes, you
okay
can.
if I share my screen
You can. You
because
can.
okay. So because I think it's better. Okay, that screen. It's here.
Okay.
So I'm showing you my website, and in the About Me section is, I think it's better. So before NFTs, I mostly post my work in Twitter,
Okay.
not okay. My procedural work in Twitter. I think that was a hobby, so I just made a Twitter account and post my work and talk with another hobbies here. So this is something that I made. These are some of the previous works exploring using processing. People in generative art always knew new processing is a software environment that really make generative art easy. Well, no, never easy, but easier than other technologies. These are some works. There's a link here to a Twitter bot that I made. And I would like to talk especially about 3D printing. Okay, before NFTs, maybe when I started, I got a few websites here. I knew about openprocessing.org. That is a platform where people publish their creative coding work. That's super inspiring and motivating. There's not NFT, that's not related to NFT, so people publish there, share their code, share their thoughts and everything. I remember that link, complexification.net. This is a website from Jared Tarbell. I'm not sure if I'm spelling well, but Jared Tarbell, that he made really beautiful things with code. Things like that, watching those outputs made by an algorithm. This is from more than 10 years ago stuff. Those are the things that really motivates me to push my code skills to another level. I know. And eventually I found a Nervous System that is an studio in United States
Okay.
that made really beautiful digital fabrication. They use digital fabrication like 3D printing, laser cutting, to make jewelry, a lot of things, puzzles, jigsaws, things like that. All those shapes are made by code, and I think that is the kind of people that push me to jump into generative art at a higher level, and especially digital fabrication. So most of my work before NFTs was related to 3D printing. So I became a hobbyist of 3D printing in some moment and made a lot of collection and pieces, many of them made with code, and published in some profiles. I got some samples here. These are some buildings that a program made randomly in different variations. A marble round, some sort of maze, when you can throw a ball and follow the path. Decorative people. All those things have been always free models to download for hobbies that download the model, print on their homes, or things like that. So before NFTs, many of my work was related to 3D printing technologies.
Okay. So
Anyway.
I have a question. The openprocessing.org. I didn't quite understand what this thing is about. It's it's like a GitHub?
Yes, I have a GitHub. Yes, it's like a GitHub, but it's more. I'd not say it is like a GitHub. It's a place where you can make a profile and you can upload your programs and show to the world. So there's something here. Let's see what's that. So people just share their experiments or their things, and you can see the code. Well, no way. There's people that are specialists in reducing code size to get awesome things.
Okay.
So people, this is more like an experiment for someone, I think, and you can share here, share the link, and this a platform to share your designs, your works. So
Okay.
Nothing professional, everything for free. Many of the people here are into NFT too, because they use this platform to share their daily work, and eventually they made a collection and publishing some NFT gallery or something like that.
Okay.
And I don't know. I have more things. Experiments in processing. We even made a game for a for a jam 1 year ago. A super simple video game, but in short, you can find me on Twitter. That's where I publish, and all my work is linked here. All my work in 3D printing. That is where is the most part of my work. I've been 3D printing models. This brain ball, for instance, this brain ball is made by an algorithm.
Okay.
I didn't use Blender or some 3D CAD software to make these shapes. So things like that. I really like to make code. For me, it's a relaxing experience. Make some code and try to get a visual piece, a nice visual piece.
Okay. So if I try to summarize what you express, basically before doing NFT, you were already doing generative art with 3D painting. You were
Yes.
using open processing as well to showcase your work and see the work of other artists. And nervous.com was kind of a push on your side to experiment more with generative art.
Sure. I will post you the links of these two websites that really, I think, really are the two people or the I don't know how to say.
The resources.
And behind complexification is Jared Tarbell. I will write you in the chat. Okay. It's one of those people that's in their work that really inspire me to push my coding skills to another level. And the nervous system work is driven by Jessica and Gilles Rosendahl, a couple of, and this is where I discovered how digital fabrication can bring generative art to the physical world. So having generative pieces in the physical world as a plastic, I got this one here. This is one of my models, and it's super cool.
It's a
bringing out of the screen, grabbing the CAD model and printing and making a physical piece that looks great in itself, and something like that. So having physical, you can touch, you can feel, you can see, you can move in the real world, for me is something special.
Okay, but did that figurine, it's a Metro Pixel land?
It's not really, but in fact, I do like procedural architecture. I made in the past a few experiments with procedural buildings and architecture and things like that. And if we talk about Metro Pixel, that was a collection launched on Artblocks on July. Okay.
Just before, get back a little bit, just to move on a progressive order.
Sure.
Before the launch, how did you? I think you find out about Artblocks thanks to Twitter, right? Or did maybe someone reach out to you?
No, I found them. I knew about all the NFT maybe through Twitter, because many people that I follow posted about, I published this NFT collection here and here. So I made a search and found OpenSea, where you publish by yourself, Super Rare and another galleries. And eventually I found Artblocks by Google search. I found Artblocks. I saw how the minting mechanics, because, for instance, for people who don't know, in OpenSea on other platforms, you made the outputs in your computer, upload and mint in the platform, and people buy the one that I like. In Artblocks, what you do is the code, the program, then you upload the program to the platform, and each time someone mint or buy a piece, the program runs and get a random surprise variation. So that mechanic was what I liked in Artblocks. So I found them, I joined their Discord, asked about how to be an artist there. To publish in Artblocks, you need to apply, to pass some filters. Not many people achieve to be an Artblock artist. They have some level of requirement there. They are publishing 2 or 3 collections per week. Okay. So, well, I made my best with my station project. That was my first NFT collection. I applied. They liked the project. They accept me as an artist there. And and eventually I published there.
I have a question. When regarding the curation process with the Artblock, do you have any idea what stand out on your application? Why basically they choose to onboard you on the platform?
You're asking me about what they like or what they ask to what are the requirements, maybe, because the curation.
Yes, it's a
Okay.
general question. It's like on your point of view, what do you think
Yes.
make you stand out? It's like I imagine that the art blocks have a lot of application, and so
Yeah.
basically they are choose your application. So my question is,
Okay. They consider the curation board in art blocks consider the aesthetic of the collection must looks beautiful, okay, but it also needs to have enough range of variations. As you are publishing an algorithm that a collection of, let's say, 500 pieces, they consider that this bunch of pieces must be enough difference. Even the worst output of the algorithm must be nice. They took in consideration things like using colors, using shapes, proportions, things more of an artistic point of view. They just not evaluate the quality of your programming skills, but some artistic considerations like using of colors, proportions, composition, things like that. Curation board are people that were working on physical galleries in the past. There are coders, there are some people, most of them come from the physical art. So they have a vision and they are a great and very kind team. They give you feedback, and when you show them something, if they don't accept your application, they give you a huge feedback about you should need to change that, you should need to work more on colors, on things like that. So there's a lot of people trying to apply, but the level is a bit high sometimes. I don't know if that was really your question, but yes.
yes, it's
I mean,
what I trying to find out. It's the first time you are not the first artist being on art blog that I feature on a Robert Spotlight, that
yeah.
I interview on a Robert Spotlight. But it's the first time that I got this question, and basically that could be a question that I ask to every artist being on art blogs. It's to
Okay.
basically on your with your eyes, with your lens, belief. Point of view, what do you think make you stand out from all the application? So it was
Make you
kind of
stand out. Make you stand out. I don't know how to say. I'm not sure. Sorry, that's my problem. My English. I'm not sure. What are you really asking me? Where I
no,
stand
no, no.
out?
But you no, no, no. In fact, I was summarizing my thought, but you
Okay,
have
sorry.
already replied. It's
Okay,
already done. I was
gotcha.
just saying on my end that I just found out by asking you the question that it's a
Okay,
worthful question to ask to every artist being on art blocks. It wasn't me asking you again the same question.
okay. Thank you. Sorry, sorry, man.
No problem, no problem. English, it's not no, our um, native language, so we are brother here. No, no problem. So yes, so basically, you apply to art blogs. You find out to
Yeah.
them on by being active on Twitter and seeing things. Art blogs onboard you, but when they onboard you, that means that you have already the station project.
What's the to stage my project
when when you apply for art blocks, you come up
yeah.
with stations, your NFT
Yes,
project.
yes,
Okay,
yes, yes, yes.
and so
Okay.
could you talk about your creative process to regarding the station project?
Sure. Especially for stations, I was making here because a station is I think it's a very personal project. I made a website here, and behind the station is something that is started in 10 years ago. Okay. That was by myself in my, and I was exploring. I think this will show to the audience what was the special process from the beginning to the final NFT collection, because there's a long history here behind stations. So 10 years ago or so, I made some experiments with subdivision, geometric subdivision, drawing shapes inside another shapes, things like that. That was never published, maybe some post on Twitter or I don't know, but never published official collection about this. And those was output of a 2 dimensions version of the what we see that became stations. So playing with those subdivisions, different versions, and at some point I started to see, let's try to think in that shape as a top view of a city. Okay. So at this point, I started to think in jumping to 3D, to 3D space, thinking it is like a top view of a city. So instead of drawing shapes inside another shapes, I could stack different geometries to elevate some sort of building, a city. That was the very first test. 10 years ago, I have a backup drive, I don't know where, but this is the very first testing with geometries. Eventually, you are adding more complex geometry, some better render techniques. And at this point, I think it was the first time that I feel that an algorithm could make beautiful output each time you run the algorithm.
Okay.
So these are examples of outputs in the past. When I jumped into 3D printing, I made a printable version of those cities. These are pictures of physical pieces. They are the same kind of algorithm that I use for stations. And last year at the maybe September or August or September, I started to working in the NFT version that is made in JavaScript language of stations. I started with a first prototype and finally adding different details. You got the final results. So in short, this is a very personal project for me. I've been playing around this kind of algorithm for many years in Java with processing, in OpenSCAD language for 3D printing, so many variations and tests, big prints, small prints. I got something here. I got this. This is a very small print. These are super small prints of this kind of city generator. So a lot of small randomly generated mini towers or mini buildings or something like that that you can put in a polyhedron, in a shape, and made some sort of 3D printed station. I don't know.
Okay.
So there's not an special creative process, but a lot of tests back and forth with different technologies until I finally made this special version as an NFT collection.
It's quite of a long process question, basically, because the code, it's 11 years code with a lot of experimentation, evolution.
Yeah,
So
sure. There was a lot of experiments, evolution, back and forth, trying different geometries. Some sort of geometries doesn't work, so I get rid. This 3D printable version were quite a challenge because there's some geometries that are not printing friendly, to say something. You need to work with the special geometries. Here, there's another restrictions. Your browser need to move in real time the render of this model. So there's a lot of restrictions into the number of polygons, quality of textures, or things like that. So each technology has their own restrictions. And around this algorithm, I make a lot of experimentation. Eventually, this was the final version that I published on Artblocks.
And do you have any from the 900 generation? Did you have one special that it's that you prefer?
Yes. Let's see a bit of the some sort of generations. Here's the Artblocks page of stations. You can browse here the collections. There's some of them because when you work on on this kind of collections, you can set some features.
Yes,
Okay. Filters, and also you can set some features that some of them are rare, some of them are common, and I especially like the core, this kind of shapes that are like a big diamond representing the Ethereum symbol.
Yes,
some sort
it's
of
what I wanted to say.
that's the fun fact. This Ethereum symbol, it wasn't intended was an Ethereum reference. I just was thinking on those kind of sci-fi. Oops, sorry.
No problem.
No, this out. I was thinking on those kind of space station with a core inside with some sort of energy, thinking of things like that inside, and I made this shape. And someone in Discord or Twitter, I don't remember, say, "Oh, I do like the Ethereum reference." I mean, yes, of course, the Ethereum. But it was at the beginning in my head. There's no an Ethereum symbol, but people super fast recognize that as the Ethereum symbol. So I do like especially this kind of shape, two rings around a Ethereum symbol. Also the render, because there's some rarities here that are the blueprinters and sketcher. There's this kind of render. Okay, let's put big. Sometimes randomly you can get a sketchy look in your station. So this is a post-processing layer that I implemented in the program, and for me it's super nice because looks like it's hand drawing in a paper. People like. There's only a few of them, so they are rare. People in those collections are looking for rarity, for the more exclusive or rarity items. So this kind of render style is, for me, is one of the nice pieces. Also, there's blueprinters, things like that. This render tries to represent the blueprint or the shape, a draw of the planes of the, no, I'm not sure if it's the planes, the blueprint of a future station.
Okay.
You know, those blueprints, those sheets.
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay.
I understood. It's perfectly clear.
So, and this is super cool too. So I don't know. I don't know.
And you personally, between core, sketches, printed, which one do you prefer the most?
The sketchy.
Okay.
I especially like the sketchy look. Yeah, I especially like the sketchy look of these ones. But this, I don't know, sketchy is maybe what I prefer, but the normal render with all the colors and the space in the background is super cool too. But I do love the sketchy render. Yeah.
Perfect. So that was your first project on art blocks. Basically, it's 11 years project.
Sure.
You have been working, to be more precise, you have been working for more than 10 years on the code. It was your first NFT project on art blocks. It's called
Yes.
Stations. It was it seemed to be the community liked it. It sold out very quickly. I believe it was in 3 hours.
Yes, it was sold out in about 3 hours. Yep, the same day, and it was very surprising to me because it was published at a time where the market wasn't very, was a bit slow. The market was a bit slow at those moments. I took a risk publishing 900 pieces. That's a very big collection in terms on an art block collection. Well, I put a cheap, let's say cheap price compared to another collections. I expected to sell maybe 100 at the most, but in one day, my very first project sold out in 3 hours was for me, it was an experience. It was a very huge experience for me that I was being passionate about generative art, but never really published it in some galleries, never really make some money, but not really for the money. But I just posted on Twitter and things like that. I think, well, no one knows me. I had a few followers on Twitter, mostly from 3D printing community, not about the NFT community. No one knows me. People will see that and say, that looks like a video game. That's not art. I think I was a bit insecure when I launched this project, but selling all the collection in 3 hours was really unexpected for me. A super cool experience because I started to believe in my
yourself.
skills. Yes. For me, that I've been publishing here without having something big in exchange, that was like, wow, I can do things people like, and I can do big things. So that was like a push to my self-esteem.
Okay,
I'd say that.
perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. And did you have the opportunity to talk with your collectors?
Yes, I'm usually active on art blocks Discord, and I have the private message open. Many people reach me through Twitter. Many collectors send me a message to Twitter, and yeah, I'm open. I enjoy to tell when someone told me, hey, I have one of your NFTs, nice work, I love it, looking forward to your next project. That's super cool to me. I'm okay. I like to talk with the collectors, because I feel that if someone took the decision to buy one of my pieces, the less that I can do is say thank you, and I hope you enjoy, and thank you again. So
Okay.
I'm open to talk with my collector, everything. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So Station was the first NFT project, and after you had Metro Pixelland.
Yes. Yes.
So
Metropic.
could you talk about the second one?
Sure. Metropixelan is another different style. Need to say that I have a few side projects on FX Hash platform. Do you know FX Hash platform?
Yes, I know.
Yes. I got a few side projects published on FX Hash. If you want, we could see after this. But before the station, I have this project. I stopped it. I was working, because once you are into art blocks with a project, there's a process of testing, refining. Okay, it took maybe 2 or 3 months, maybe about 2 months, from the station's application until the launching day. There's a lot of testing, scheduling with the team the day of launching. At that time, I started working in another project that eventually showed to art blocks. They accepted. I mean, once you are an art block artist, every single project need to pass the same filters that the other ones. Okay, so you're not being an artist in art blocks is not auto-publish everything that you like. So you have to pass the same filters that others. So I show this project, and this is animated. I will show this is a video capture. So Metropixelan started with an idea, a piece that gives you nostalgic feelings, retro vibes, something that remembers you the times where you're playing to old games like Sin City, Habbo Hotel, and things like that. So there's a bit of mini video game. I will not call video game, but not a game, but a toy, maybe. So the idea was aesthetics like all retro games, mixed with a modern look of the isometric architecture, some of my previous work on 3D printed architecture. And here in my website, I got a log about the development process with screenshot of working out the development process. So if people are interested, they can jump here. So in short, this Metropixelan will show you a random city with random colors, each city had different distribution, patterns on the buildings. The buildings have different patterns on the facade, on the walls, some trains, some cars, and things like that. I don't know. I think this project, there's a big difference between this project about the creative process of this project, and stations. A station is a single algorithm pushed to the limit. A single algorithm to the max. And MetroPixeland is more like a collage of a dozen of different algorithms. So here, the real challenge was to make all the algorithms, the building blocks, the trains, the cars, those waterfalls, could join and dance together without breaking nothing.
And you start all piece of the code on 2022?
Yes, I started with this project maybe at the beginning of this year. I made related things in the past, but never finished it, never really finished something like that. But I say that I started this, maybe in November or December of 21.
Okay.
I started doing some tests. I liked the results. But the 90% of the work was made between February and May or June. 90% of the work has been done in 22, in this year. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So yes, it's not the same vibe. It's kind of different, but with the explanation, it's that makes perfect sense. Same question on this collection. Did you have one iteration that you prefer?
Yeah, I especially like the black. There's some, for instance, the colors are randomly chosen for most of the pieces, but sometimes you get some special palette. I do like the black palette, and especially like a building distribution. Oh, you got sometimes you have cities by day with some clouds there,
Okay.
and by night. Okay, so this is a nice one for me. I like the night cities because eventually, this is moving slowly, you get northern lights for here. You get some light columns here. There's another.
Yes,
this
reference
is,
to Ethereum.
this is
Yes.
a reference to Ethereum and to stations too. You got the number of the mint number here in a panel.
Okay.
Sometimes you get a helicopter. There's a lot of details. That's maybe the collection. When you see the pieces from the distance, you see they are almost the same, but there's a lot of small variation in each piece. This one has a helicopter, a maze. You have a limited camera control. Okay. You can also use with pressing the numbers 1, 2, 3. You got 2-dimension 2D views. That is especially cool. Okay. So being back to your question, the black ones by night and with some decoration like Ethereum symbol or light columns or things like that. These are the outputs that I like more. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Great. And same. How was the receive of the collector with the new collection?
I'm asking about some new collection.
No, I'm asking. When you launch Metro Pixeland,
Okay.
all
Yes.
the collectors, all your previous collectors, and all Gen Art collectors react to that project?
Pues, most of my previous collectors, I think I say that this collection was had more success, or collectors especially loved this collection. They didn't compare with the stations, but all of them loved, and I had a lot of private messages. I love this collection. He reminds me when I was a kid and I played Sin City or video games, and that was what I was looking for. So collection reacts very well. They really, many of people that collected the stations are collectors too of Metropixel. So they like it a lot. I had very good feedback from collectors. Yes.
Perfect. So it's great. And you wanted to talk about some side project that you have also on FX Ash. We have roughly 10 minutes. Do
Yes.
you want to share something specific?
Yes. That was fast. 1 hour. That was a fast. Time is running so fast. It's a relaxing chat. In fact, it's super easy. Super easy for me to be here with you, Robert. So I made some other side projects, and FX has we still not mint out. This was a thing that I made in the this summer. Into this summer. There's an history behind this trilogy. I made some sort of trilogy. Link here, fernandojerez.com, the Frag trilogy. And this is maybe, I'm not a storytelling people, I'm not good with narrative, but I try to show, to tell a story. The story of how technology ruled our lives. How all of these are surrounded of technology, and this is sometimes good, sometimes bad, and things like that. Maybe I think I'm not a storyteller. I don't know, but I try to represent the first of the trilogy is Inked, is some sort of generative pieces. I use an algorithm to make those square shapes or some sort of maze. Okay. A bit of blood here, and that's because it looks like a tattoo, like a ink on a paper or in the skin with some dips of blue. And that's where the technology touch, like a tattoo, can be painful. Yeah. Another variation, I launched this as a trilogy because even if it's the same base algorithm, but the outputs were very different. So I separate into 3 projects and focus more on this is like ink on a paper with some dips of blood. This is, in fact, the same squared shape in the past, but with another colors, another effects, for processing effects. Okay. And it represents, in my head, it represents all the neon lights, how the technology, how the devices trying to mesmerize you with their lights and sounds and things like that. Okay. They look cool, I think.
It could be, we can call that Inception.
Yeah. So here I have the colors. And in the last was a mix. In fact, this was like a mix between this and this, adding colors and replacing the squares, this sort of comic book squares, into pills or things like that. So the metaphor behind this is something like your daily pill of technology. When you wake up and catch your phone and check messages, that's your daily pill of technology or things like that. That was just a story that I made in my head. I took these designs, these projects, and I was just like a fun project that I made just to decompress. I look in this. It's good. I should have present 2 art blocks. Anyway, I just put on FSCAS that for people that are beginning into all the creative generative art thing, I strongly recommend FXCAS. There's a very nice, it's not fully minted, so it's super cheap. I recommend FXCAS for people that start into generative art, because there's a very nice community in their Discord. You can publish here, not for the profit. Many people publish here small collections, even for free, or for $1. That's $1.50 or thing like that. So publishing here is a big experience for people that are new in this community. In the Discord, there's a lot of help. You can ask something and people will help you with anything you need. So it's really an experience that for people that are beginning in this community, I recommend to publish something in FSCAS and new the community, to have, I don't know how to say.
No, but it's clear. It's very clear, and it's what you are saying. It's like for someone starting, go on FX Arch, go on the Discord. The community, it's welcoming, and don't hesitate to ask any question. It was very clear.
Sure. Yeah.
Perfect. So I like it. The last one with the storytelling. And question: do you have any video where you explain the project like this?
No, I don't have. No, not really.
Okay.
But that's a very good idea. Yes.
Because I didn't read the web page, so I will not be able to say if I can compare what you have just did right now with reading only. But I would say that watching a video when you explain your idea, your thought, and the evolution, it's that can click, and something that you can share on Twitter, on whenever on your social, and
Sure.
people will understand right away. It's a 2-minute length, and what I'm thinking, it's easier for people to discover this project and to understand it right away than reading something. It's just my
No. Thank you. It's a good advice. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Do you have 1 minute left? Can we extend just for 5 minutes?
Sure. Yes.
So your advice for someone starting, it's to go on FXH. So you have already said that. What would be another advice to someone? To a collector, what would be your advice to a collector looking to find generative art?
Advice for a collector. I'd say there's 2 kinds of collectors. If you as a collector want to support the artist, I mean, for a collector, I'd say I'm not really a collector. This is only my personal opinion.
Okay.
If I was a collector, I got a few NFTs that I bought from. No, yes, and I'm very small collector. In fact, what I have in my wallet, there's some NFTs for people that I see in Twitter or I've seen their work. For me, I collect art to support the artist. Okay, but that's me. I know the 90% of the collectors here. They are more for the profit and the speculation, and it's good. For me, it's perfect. That is what is moving this market. So for those people, I say that they should look consistent artists, artists that may have published 1, 2, 3 pieces and have some evolution. I don't know if I say it's easy to put your money in some big names, but there's a lot of, and I think this NFT community, this NFT explosion, have made that people like me, all-time generative artists, but under the radar. So there's a lot of people very talented out there and supporting in their first works. Maybe in the future will their first works will be more valuable, will have more value. So in short, for a collectors that really like the art and want to support an artist, look for new people and see their history, their background. Well, this for just for supporting the artist. And for making profit, there's the big names. That's difficult to get cheap pieces from the big names. But there's a lot of emerging artists that I don't know if you can get some work from emerging artists and in a few years they may become more mainstream or more well-known. I think this is a good inversion. I don't know. I'm not good analyzing markets. I'm the kind of guy that when I buy Bitcoin, they dump. When I sell Bitcoin, they pump.
It wasn't. It wasn't just to for you to know. It wasn't a question to with make money aspect. It was very like with your with what you know today. What would be your advice to someone starting to collect generative art? But you already replied to that. Quick follow up question, because you talk about under the radar artist. Would you be able to name one emergent generative artist that you want to put on the light?
Yes, in art blogs, I knew a lot of artists, especially in art blogs, because I'm in the community. I'd say, especially, Harvey Reiner was the artist behind the last curated collection on art blogs. He published, I know in art blogs there's sometimes they drop a collection under the curated seal. That's because the curator board consider that it is especially at a high level. And this is a guy that I knew some time ago and started. It was a generative artist, but not commercially for many time. And he had a previous project on art blogs that he got success. He sold out the full collection. But I think this guy is a big name. When I saw their first work and how the technique he had, the work, I had the luck to talk in private with him sometimes. And he's the kind of people that each project is a step higher than the previous project. He has I've seen in Herbie Rainer, a huge evolution and lot of work. He's always working. He's spending hundreds of hours working on this. That finally is what helps to be a big name. I don't know. Melissa, this is a woman from, I'm not sure, from Sudan, is African or Indian. I can't remember, sorry. Melissa, that's a woman. She has this touch of, I don't know. For me, she has something in their work that looks very special.
Okay.
So, but I don't know. This is not financial advice, people.
Yes.
So,
It's not. But don't worry. It's not. The question. It's not under the.
yeah. I know.
The
That
scope
one.
of make money. It's really about the artist and the art. So it's,
Sure.
so
Sorry. I was joking.
No problem.
Those two artists, Harvey Rainer and Melissa, are the two artists that recently catch my attention.
Okay. And what? Harvey Rainer. It's because you have the sensation of the evolution on the
Yes.
on the art, but on Melissa, what did caught your eyes?
I don't know. She has two collections. She had a curated collection, two projects. She had two collections. She made some sort of abstract art. I don't know, the color composition. I feel their work looks consistent, pleasant. I don't know.
Okay.
How she worked with colors, how she worked with compositions. I don't know. When you are watching many projects, so when you are watching a lot of different projects every day, and someone for some reason catch your attention, I don't know what is the shape, the composition, maybe just
But
a
it's
personal
the aesthetic. It's the aesthetic
Yeah.
caught your eyes.
aesthetic catch my eyes, and when the aesthetic catch your attention, you, as a programmer, as a creative coder, I see a big technique, a high level of technique, because that's weird, because it's not, when I see something, not only see the aesthetics, but the algorithm, how she had made these shapes, I'm thinking more in how she made those shapes.
Okay.
And maybe because I have no idea how she made this, is what it got my attention too.
Okay, perfect. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you very much. I didn't ask you basically? Did you wanted to talk about something that I didn't give you the opportunity to?
No, but just a message for the generative artist, especially for the new generative artist. The best advice that I could make for the generative artist is have fun doing your work. There's no reason we have the privilege to make what we want with the computer. There's no reason to make bored work. So have fun. This is super hard sometimes to make with code those kind of visuals. So best advice, have fun working and enjoy your work. That's the only thing that I have to say to other artists.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I have just a quick question because we are out of the time. What is, for you, Fernando, what is an NFT?
An NFT, well, officially an NFT is a mark in a digital piece that, wow, it's hard to... I think in an NFT is the technology. The technology. This picture here is in someone's wallet. People with this picture in this wallet can do something. I could screenshot this picture, but it's not the original. There's in some sort of, I don't know. All we know, the technology is NFT is a blueprint, a watermark, or a certificate, or RID in a digital element piece. But there's something emotional in having an NFT and not a screenshot of this piece. I don't know. I got a bunch of NFTs in my wallet, and for the collector, it's not the same. There's something emotional. I don't know how to explain. I don't know, Robert, if you get my point, but...
I get it.
Yeah, there's something, despite the technology, there's something emotional in having an NFT of Melissa. You feel like
Connected.
you are connected, you are supporting her work, you have a special piece signed by her in your wallet and things like that. There's something that I didn't understand that point before the NFT. When I jumped into NFT, I published my first work, and I buy a few NFTs. I started to feel this emotional connection between the artist and the collector. Maybe it's a bit metaphysical, everything, and NFT is only a bunch of numbers in a blockchain, but at the end, we got something that makes some feel, some connection with the artist, and there's something that makes a bit special, not only a screenshot or a JPG of a picture. You get my point, Robert.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I was thinking in the same time. It was a very fun conversation. Thank you to take the time to present your artistic journey, your project. It was fun to talk with you, to understand Station, Metro Pixelon, and the last one on FX Arch. It was very fun. Thank you again, and yeah, we talk on social.
Okay, perfect. Thanks to you for having me. That's super fun, relaxed. I could be here another hour, but this time I have to do some homework too. And glad to meet you, Robert. Glad to meet you, and thank you for having me.
Same for me. We stay in touch. Bye.
Okay.
Bye, Fernando.
Bye.